All right, let's take a look at drug patents and Native Americans. Question one, revenue most nearly means. All right, the deal offers the promise of a new revenue stream that would bring in income beyond that of a casino. All right, so I think the trick to figuring this one out is that this word is related to this word somehow. And of these words here, earnings, like monetary, money earnings, is what revenue means. If you plug it in, it fits. If you plug in river, like river stream that would bring in income, it doesn't really make any sense. Delay stream doesn't make any sense, and compassion stream, no, that doesn't really make any sense either. The only one that has to do with income is earnings. All right, a novel attempt. The announcement Friday is perhaps the most novel attempt to avoid a patent review process that the drain, blah, 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 blah. So novel most nearly means, does desperate make sense if you plug it in? Yeah, it kind of does. That's a maybe. A sweet attempt? No, that's a no. An eventful attempt. Eventful seems like maybe, like it could be like full of action and movement, but that's not really, eventful doesn't quite fit. It's like not as bad as sweet, but it's not as good as desperate either. It's either going to be desperate or new, which does make sense. The answer here is new, because a novel is like new and creative. That's sort of what is going on here. All right. So Indian tribes have sovereignty. I should have asked you what sovereignty means. That is stronger than states, Mr. White said, pointing to recent Supreme Court cases that have ruled in favor of tribes. Recent Supreme Court cases that have ruled in tribes' favor. This one seems like a maybe. I can't really, nothing jumps out as being wrong. This one is wrong because tribe would have to be plural here. Like it would have to look like this for it to be right. Because it's multiple tribes, not just one tribe. And you do need the apostrophe because it is a possessive word. Like it's, the cases have been ruled in their favor, like the favor belongs to the tribe. Recent Supreme Court cases that no, we're already like, there's a weird future tense that doesn't make sense. Recent Supreme Court cases rules that favor tribe, no, because this is a possessive apostrophe, but it doesn't belong here. The rules is just plural. It's not plural and showing possession. So the best answer here is A. Everything else has some sort of mistake in it. Challenges of the Patent Office play a crucial role in overturning invalid patents. So you need to know a little bit. I think the key is overturning, meaning like changing your mind about whatever invalid. The other thing that you can notice about invalid is that it has a prefix, a Latin prefix in, like incompetent, meaning you're not competent, or inconsequential, you're not consequential. So invalid means not valid. And if you know that valid means something that's true, something that is like holds up, then let's see if something is not going to hold up. Of questionable moral character, that's a maybe. It's not a terrible answer. Not legally binding, that's a better answer. Something that doesn't hold up would be not legally binding. Excessive patents doesn't fit. Groupings of patents, maybe. That's actually a maybe too. But I feel like looking at the word valid and the in part is going to lead you to not legally binding. Summarize the article. Well, this is a complicated article, and basically what it says is that there was this drug maker, Allergan, that used this complicated legal maneuver where they gave over the rights of their drug to a Native American tribe in New York, and then had this reverse, triple, confusing, backwards deal where now that the natives tribes owned the patent, they would then rent it back to the drug company, who would pay the native tribe um, to produce it. And the reason that they did this is because their patent was about to expire. And a patent is like a legal right to do something. If I have a patent on a special way to make soda, no one else can make soda that way until my patent expires. So their drug patent was about to expire, and people were going to be able to make drugs. But they came up with this really complicated and morally questionable method of holding on to their patent. Um, and the rest of the article is basically talking about what that implies for the rest of the country, the legal theory behind the Mohawk deal, and whether it will be held up in court. Um, so that's the summary of what happened. The main idea, I would say, is that when a drug company, there's so much money at stake when a drug company's patent expires that drug companies are now forced to do very complicated, morally questionable maneuvers in order to keep making their money. One of the side effects is that random native tribes will get a little bit richer, which I guess you could argue is a good thing, but the drugs will remain expensive, which is not a good thing. So one or two pieces of evidence. Again, as usual, I would look here to the beginning. That sort of summarizes what's about to happen and gets on the main idea. That's pretty much it. You can also talk about that it's questionable, like the Supreme Court may ultimately invalidate. We saw that word invalid earlier before. But that it's sort of it's up in the air. So those are what I would point to support the main idea claim. All right, the end.